What's going on? Welcome back. Ryan here. Just want to remind you, nothing in these videos is trading advice or investment advice or finance advice. This is all for education purposes only. I don't know your situation. I don't know your risk tolerances. I don't know what your goals are. So therefore, this isn't trading advice, and it shouldn't be construed as that, right? We're looking at the mechanics and the definitions and the interface and giving you the knowledge that you need to be able to make effective decisions. Okay, so in the last video, we talked about calls and puts, right? We've talked about buying and selling options, right? What it means to be a buyer, what it means to be a seller. On the buying side, right, you're buying rights to do something, and when you're selling, you're obligating yourself to deliver something, right? So really important to actually have some type of reference of what this means, okay? And in this video, we're talking about the options chain, okay? So I have Thinkorswim loaded up. I have it set, reset workspace. I don't have any positions. This is bone stock how it's going to look for you. And if we come in here to charts, let's just use Apple again for an example. So here we can look at Apple, right? And we can see what Apple's doing. Okay. And when we come here into this trade tab, it's going to bring up a lot of information, right? So it's going to show us the underlying asset here, right? Where it has the last traded price, the net change, the bid, the ask, the size, the volume, the open, the high, the low, okay? And below this, we have the options chain, okay? Now, options chains, I have a lot of videos to go through, but I just want to quickly show you what this option chain is, right? So this is the option chain, and the option chain is a graphical representation of the option contract and all of the data and all of the information that represents that contract, right? So we have the expiration, we have the strike price, and in this, the way this is laid out, it's going from low at the top to high at the bottom. And we can see here that we have the calls on the left and we have the puts on the right. And we can see here that the way that this is laid out, it's showing us the last price of the option. It's showing us the net change, and it's showing us the bid and the ask. Okay, so we're going to go into this in a lot more detail, but just to get you moving in the right direction, whether you've seen this or whether you haven't, I want you to be aware of how we can find this information inside of Thinkorswim so that we can start to look at it and analyze it and understand it, okay? So again, right, we can come into the charts, we can type in Apple, we can bring up this asset. Maybe we wanted to look at Amazon, right? And I have this set up where right here, there's a little link. So I have this as red here, and here's Amazon. And now if I come into trade, I've also set this little link here to red so that when I put this asset here in the chart, it will also bring up the trading aspect, right? And the options chain. So just know that this is where you find this options chain, and there are lots of different expirations, which are here. And when we open this up, we can see the calls on the left, the puts on the right, and all of the information that is represented in this options chain. And as we progress through these videos, we are going to go, more into detail into what all of this information means and how you're going to use it and what's important, what's not important, where you're going to lose money, where the more high probability situations and trades kind of where they are, right? Because remember, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of definitions, there's a lot of things to conceptually understand before you really start understanding what you need to do to win and make money. And then on the other side is, where are you going to lose, right? Most people, they're too focused on making money quickly and getting that instant gratification, and as I've said before, they skip a lot of these really important fundamentals, which, whether you take the time to learn them first, or you go out and you lose a bunch of money and you have to circle back around to say, okay, well, that didn't work. Obviously, I did something wrong. Now I have to circle back around, and you have to rebuild your confidence. You have to relearn a bunch of things, when instead it's much better to just paper trade, understand your software, your broker, really understand these definitions, and then learn from somebody experienced who can show you where the mistakes are going to be made when you start to do this. Okay, so just know that this is the options chain under the trade tab, and you can type in any asset into here. You can look anything up, and it will show you if there are options on the asset. Some assets don't have options, and just really important to know that this is where the option chain lies. Again, we have the calls on the left, the puts on the right. We have our expiration, our strike, the bid, the ask, the last, the net change, and all of these can be changed, right? There's a lot of different layouts that we can look at, data that we can pull up on these option contracts that give us different information that then we can use. So again, we're moving forward. I'm super thrilled because there's a lot of information, and I don't want to pour it on too quickly, because the most important part in the beginning is, again, understanding the definitions, right? What does it mean to buy an option, right? When you're buying the rights, what does it mean to sell the option when you're obligating yourself, and how does that apply to the calls and the puts, which we talked about in the last video? And then starting to move forward and stack these concepts and these principles on top of each other and build your confidence. Okay, so again, we just briefly took a look at the options chain, and in the next video, we are going to talk about some information in the options chain and what it means. Okay, so again, I look forward to talking in the next video.